Today we're talking with Ann Gravitt and Bear Davidson from G&G Longhorns, along with Chase Fasute from Rockin' AF Ranch. Together, the three of them put on a sale each fall called the East Coast Longhorn Classic. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good afternoon.
So why don't you guys go ahead and start and tell us about the date and location of the sale?
The date's going to be September 11th and 12th in Culpeper, Virginia.
So tell us a little bit about how the sale got started, its history, how many years you've been hosting it for.
That's all there.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's a long one. So the sale, this is actually our third sale, but it started back in 2010. I started working for G&G in August of 2009, and Ben's theory was go help everybody. If people need help working cows, branding cows, whatever, go help them. And so the summer of 2009, I spent a lot of time traveling and helping folks brand and stuff like that. And usually the reason they needed help is one, they either didn't have the manpower or they didn't have the facilities to do it or the knowledge. So most of the time that required like me getting hooked or kicked. And it was like August of 2010. And I said something to Ben about doing a branding party. Sean Peccano and I had talked about it. And, Sean and I were like, it'd be cool. We'll get a case of beer. We'll grill some burgers. And so I said something to Ben and he said, sure, go for it. And so we had set it like the first weekend in November. And this was mid-October, right after the LWC. And Ben's like, how's your little branding party coming along? And I'm like, great. We got 250 people RSVP to it. And Ben's like, oh, we got to cater it. We got to do this. We got to do that. So it started out as just a branding party. The first year, I think we did like 60 calves that we branded. People came down from New York to do it, came out from North Carolina to do it. And then the following year, we figured since we had so many people there that we should try to raise some money in some fashion. So we had some display pens. It was a $50 a pen to display your animals. And that money was donated. I think we donated it to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, which is the same thing that you guys donated to when you guys did the Longhorn Lace sale. So we started out there. I think we raised like $1,100 the first year. Jim Atwell donated like $600 to it. He brought a bunch of cows up the brand. And then the next year it got even bigger. We had like, I think we had like 10 animals, 10 pens the first year, 2011. The second year was like 30 pens. And as we started to realize that we could set these pens up, we decided, well, maybe we should do a little futurity. And I think we called it the Fall Roundup Futurity for the first couple of years. And then Ben had passed away, and we changed it to the BG Futurity. And that grew. I think our biggest futurity there at the farm was like 100 animals. And I would get panels from the local co-op and set up these panels just in our working pens. And then we moved down here in 2016, and the topography of the new farm doesn't really allow us to have that type of event. So we didn't do it. And we kind of heard not some backlash from people, but people just said how much they missed it. And the East Coast was growing so strongly at that point, like just continue to rise, that we thought maybe it would be nice to kind of have a more of an elite sale on this side of the country, just showcasing what these breeders are doing, and coupled that with the cherry blossom. So 2018, I guess it was the summer of 17 really when we decided to do it. Ben Gravitt, Paul Bavington, Tyson Leonard used to do a sale. What'd you guys do, like 3 or 4 a year?
The most we did was 3 a year. We did Mount Airy, North Carolina. Sometimes it was in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Sometimes Culpeper, Virginia. We did one in Winchester, Virginia. And then Maryland.
Was it Union Bridge where Paul's?
That's where he lived.
Okay. So, I mean, the East used to have a sale in the fall. And with Tyson's sale kind of fading out when Carl Brantley had it, we thought we could step up and try to host another one, and just been really fortunate with how the consigners and how the market in this country has responded to it.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about the futurity portion.
Yeah, so the futurity this year, this is something Bear, it's kind of his baby going through. But speaking from my side of it, I know this is the third year we've done it for the East Coast Classic, and it's kind of the second leg of the Cherry Blossom. I think there what, like 90 animals this year at the Cherry Blossom futurity.
We had 100,
and it's
I think it
the
was like
numbers.
116.
I was close, but it filled the barn. This futurity we give out, I think last year was almost $50,000 that paid out. 100% of the sponsorships go back into payouts. And I think outside of the Millennium Futurity, this is the highest paying futurity in the country. The judges we have this year, Melissa Beershank from Oklahoma, Kathy Kittler's making a comeback out of retirement from Arkansas, and then Angie Wolf, which is good to see Angie because they normally win a few classes every year. So the futurity is going to be held Friday before we go to Ann's party. It's a great lineup of cattle. I know Bear's worked really hard on it. He's a lot smarter with futurities than I am, but it's a great event. You get to see some really cool cattle.
Well, the whole concept with doing a futurity with the sale was to kind of give, when we were doing the fall roundup, futurity is a lot of work. And it's from a business standpoint, if you look at it, like it's not beneficial because of all the work that goes into it, the cost of it. But so we thought about when we were doing the fall roundup to get rid of the futurity because it was dragging me down. And talking to some of the particulars that always participated in events with us, they really mentioned how they enjoy it because it gives them something to do. If they didn't have cows to brand or work, why do they need to come? And, we wanted to create the event where people were coming to enjoy themselves. So the futurity really does that. It brings a lot of people to it who normally wouldn't pull a trailer to the event or who normally wouldn't come to it. And it gives them an opportunity to showcase their animals and win some money. We started at futurity money earners list where we've been following that since I think it's 2017, but just tracking money earned by sires and dams like the Rain Horse futurity does. So it adds to that, and it just brings a whole different value. We want to make this an event, not just show up on Saturday and do a cow sale. So people will start coming in on Wednesday just to bring futurity cows in. We got Melissa Boris is our furthest consigner. She's coming in from just outside of Reno. It's like 2,610 miles. I looked it up the other day. So it's neat. Last year we sold cows from Wisconsin to Texas, from Massachusetts to Oregon. I mean, that's coast to coast, border to border. And this year we got a lot of calls out of Canada that people are looking at cattle. And we'll kind of see how the cards fall. But the futurity just brings a whole different level for us and just something different.
So what time does it start on Friday?
Starts at noon.
Okay.
So the futurity will go till, we got 68 entries in this one. So it'll probably go a couple hours, and that'll give us time to get the Calcutta checks cut, get the futurity checks cut, and then people will go back, get cleaned up for the party at Ann's that starts at 6.
So, Ann, some of our listeners might have been following some of the posts on social media. Is there anything special going on with the futurity this year?
Well, the futurity's kind of, just does what it always does. It's the same kind of deal. So there's really, I don't think there's anything too special about it this year, is there?
She's not worried. Like getting punched in the face. Like, she's not concerned about that at all. I got Chase tiptoeing around, afraid to call people out. I got Sean's over there antagonizing Chase. So Sean actually wants to do a video with Chase, like a protest video here in a cow field when he comes in for the East Coast Classic and drag him out of the buggy. But
so fill everybody else in that doesn't know.
I'm flying under the radar.
Say that again, Molly.
Fill everyone else in that doesn't know what we're talking about. What special surprise are you doing?
So we were, a couple of years ago, 100% of the sponsorship money goes right into the payouts, and we really push really hard to have big payouts. It's one thing to go to a show and win a couple $100. It's another thing to go to a show and win $1,800. And you go to a few of them, and now your nice heifer, earned more than she's probably worth, right? and you never sold her. When Ben and my dad started the futurity idea, it was for the promotion of Longhorns, and it's the ultimate way to promote your cows, because you got a floor of judges that determine the value of it, essentially. And so we want to get as many sponsorship dollars as we can, and sponsors get free page or free full page ads in our program. They get banners hung up at the event, and then 100% of those funds go right into the payouts. So a couple years ago, Sean Pecano put like a pink sweater on Facebook, and somebody made a comment like, "Oh, well, you guys should wear that." And Sean did a challenge. Hey, if we get $10,000 in sponsorships from now on, that we'll wear these pink sweaters. And it was incredible. We had like $15,000 in sponsorships, and it's just to create awareness for it is all it is, something fun. And Ann and I were driving around, and this idea of like, you ever see like Kiss the Cow type of thing? They might do it at county fairs in Iowa. I don't know. But they have like jars of money, and whoever gets the most money raised against them, they got Kiss the Cow. So,
or just on the weekend, whatever.
Just a weekend get together. It's a church event. But we did, so each sponsor, we got 3 levels of sponsorship. The biggest level gets $400 or 4 votes. The middle level gets 2 votes, and the lower level gets 1 vote. We're going to have the jars up there. And the person who's got the most votes is going to get pied in the face at the Friday night party. The person who does the pieing is one of the people who vote. They're just going to raffle off out of the jar. And if your number or your ticket gets picked, you get to do the pieing. So there's still hired hand. There's still time to sponsor if you guys want to throw your name in and maybe pie in. So
I don't think she'd be that's what we would pick.
If I get voted in the unlikely circumstance, Ren will be pieing me. If Sean does it, David, also known as Augie's dad, Wolf will do it. And you've seen his, like, he could decapitate somebody. We need to have like parameters.
I hope David Wolf wins to pie you.
I'm not worried about getting pied. I'm worried about David pieing me.
He'll pie you right through the fence.
I talked a lot of smack.
It's like the old, what's that, Chuck Norris karate movie when they're trying to break the bricks, like you got to punch through the bricks. Like that's your face.
Can't mess up perfection.
All right.
Yeah,
So
Ann's not worried about getting pied.
I wouldn't be either, Ann.
I don't know. I've only got one after me so far. It's just one person. So hope I'm good.
So tell us a little bit about the hosts of the Sale and for Charity.
What do you want to know?
Who's the sale hosted by?
we do as my screen here, and then down there, Chaser. Yeah, I mean, we just go ahead, Chase. I'll let you answer this one.
I'd say it's just us 3, Bear Davidson, Ann Gravitt, and myself. I've known Bear for 10 years now. He sold me really the first cow we bought. I've worked with Ann with the previous association we worked for, putting on the Legacy and Cherry Blossom. They actually did the sale one year, just them doing it, and asked me if I wanted to come in. So we work really well together. Ann kind of keeps us level. Bear and I fight quite a bit, but it's just as to, we try to make each other better, make the event better. But yeah, we get along great, and I'm excited to be a part of it on the East Coast. I'm making 2-3 trips up there a year now, and they're great people to work with, love them to death, and we all have the same like-mindedness of what we want for the industry, the East Coast market, and what kind of fun we want people to have at a sale. So it's cool to work with those 2. And I know that we don't hold anything back. We try to give everybody the best event they could possibly come to.
I know with Ann too, like Ann's been involved in so many events since the 90s, really. I mean, we're getting ready to go on the 4th decade of Longhorn events for her. So she brings, but she's only 30. So figure the math out. It's Common Core. She's, got to see so many of these events that were done so well that either people forgot about today or weren't even around then. And you know, one of the things that she really pushes is to make it like a family friendly event. And that when we talked about doing this, like that was the big thing for her. And, you know, she developed the idea of the weaning pen, which is sponsored by Joel and Rebecca Miner this year. But I mean, we'll have 20, 25 kids running around in like a mob. A couple of years ago, speaking of Augie's dad and Angie, I mean, it was downpouring. I think it was last year when Augie Wolf comes walking in and he's standing there talking to him. I mean, and there's a pool of water underneath them. Like they're just out playing in the rain. Chase will be sitting up in the block and you'll hear kids scream outside the sale barn and you'll see 6 of them in Nancy Dunn's hay wagon rolling down the hill with the tongue pulled up. And I'm just hoping they don't hit somebody's truck. Not for like insurance reasons, but because I know whoever's truck they hit is going to run out there and smack every single one of those kids. So, you know, I feel like it's, you know, when I was younger too, a lot of these events were such big family events that, you know, if the husband couldn't go to the Longhorn sale, the wife would be like, okay, like that's fine. Me and the kids are going. And or if the husband and wife couldn't make it for whatever reason, the kids would raise enough hell that they would go because it was such it's a big family. And you know, kind of trying to bring that back a little bit where everybody feels like they should be involved, not just one particular person in the family. So I mean, Molly, I know you grew up around that too, where, you know, you lugged everybody or everybody got lugged around to the Longhorn sales. And you know, it was a family affair.
So tell us a little bit about the social and how you incorporate kind of the family thing and just, you know, fun and lightheartedness into that.
Well, we always try to do the party, and like he was saying, with everybody bringing their families. I don't know, I guess because it's on the East Coast, a lot of people from here, let's say they're smaller breeders, don't have quite as many cattle as some of the larger breeders. They don't get to go to a lot of the events out west. Maybe they can't take off that much time to get out there. Maybe they can't afford to attend all the sales. One way or the other, it's just a long way to go. So, and that's one of the things that speaks to me is because everybody's so appreciative here. I can't tell you how many people come up to us and just thank us profusely for having events on the East Coast that they're able to go to. And that goes right back into, it's almost a vacation weekend for their family, that they can come and hang out together, have fun together, still market their cows where they're maybe not able to do that as well without the sales here. But it's just a big, fun family event, and that's what we want it to be.
Well, I think one of the things too that you see is the help. So the first East Coast Classic we did, there was a miscommunication between the back help, like the guys working the cattle in the back, and like we had nobody. And a bunch of people.
At the last minute.
Yeah, like Thursday before the sale. Like, hey, where are you guys? Oh, we thought it was next weekend. It's a whole different story. But a lot of the people coming jumped in and helped. And like the futurity side of it, you know, we have Sean runs our back crew now, and you know, his biggest problem is we got so many people that want to help. There'll be a dozen kids back there wanting to run cows, and if you know Sean, he's the biggest kid of them all. So trying to get him to like be an authoritative figure to these kids, to be like, hey, like he's an antagonizer, like he gives them candy, he kicks them off. But there'll be kids running around with them, wanting to push cows, like you know, work gates, whatever it may be. And that's just during the sale. The fraternity's the same way. And it's just they're like little Jack Russells running around barking and biting at everybody, hustling money from them, whatever they can do. So it's good for them.
Well, I know aside from the family atmosphere and just getting to see all the breeders on the East Coast, one of Jamie and I's favorite parts of the social is just being out at your place and the beautiful views and the cattle coming up to the fence and all of that. We really enjoy that, Ann.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to do that. Like you said, when we first moved here, we didn't have a barn even when we moved to the new property. So it's been a work in progress to be able to get things back going the way we want to and be able to have them here at the farm. So it's been a real work, but we've got a lot accomplished in a short amount of time. So I'm thrilled to be able to have people to come out and hang out at the house again. We're gonna have music again, like we did at the Cherry Blossom Party this year. Everybody seemed to really enjoy that, so we're gonna do that again. So
Nice.
Yeah, we got James Tomikoff, who's a local Madison guy. He plays all over the country. He's got a band named Cash Unchained. So pretty excited to have him. You know, we were down in Nashville, was it back in February, and he was playing in Nashville and everything. So nice young guy. He's probably in his early 20s. And he fits the culture of the Longhorn world. So
That's great. So my last question before I turn it over to Jamie is tell us a little bit about the auctioneer. You already mentioned some of this other staff, but specifically the auctioneer and who's helping him out.
We'll have Uncle Dan this year. Dan Huntington again. I think he's done all of our sales since, you know, Bill's last one, Bear's dad at the Cherry Blossom. Dan brings such an enthusiasm into the market. He's fun. We get to banter back and forth. I'll be reading pedigrees with him. He's got a real strong knowledge of the market of these cattle, and everybody knows him. So I think they really trust Dan. I think the rapport that me and him have, which is basically him making fun of me all weekend, seems to work. So I really enjoy working with him. The back crew, Sean Peccano, like Bear mentioned earlier, you know, those guys bring the cattle in. We had a few wiry ones at the Cherry Blossom. They handled them really well. And then in the office, we'll have Seasons, Ashlyn, Ann, and just so it's never a problem to find somebody to step in and help. But we've got a really good crew. I said this being the third year we've done this, 2 events a year, and we've got it pretty well oiled now. So that's pretty much everybody who you'll see in the back and up front making the sale run.
well, and Dan's such a big part of you talk about like, you know, the camaraderie and the atmosphere. I mean, he's more than just an auctioneer to us because he's involved with so many people. You know, he doesn't just show up and sell it. I mean, he's a big personal part. And I know for some auctioneers, they don't want to do that. And I completely understand. They just want to come in and sell. But, you know, we make the joke that Ann is the head of our social activities. Because he is like, if you like Friday night, Dan's in charge. Like, go to Peppers with Dan. And then, yeah, we got Seasons in the office. She's been in there a while, and she's done a great job for us.
Let's turn it over now and talk about some of the consigners that you have for the sale. Maybe talk about some of the returning consigners and then some of your new consigners.
Sure. So, you know, the kind of the tried and true guys who've been, you know, anytime we have an event on the East Coast, whether it's a futurity, anything like that, they're there. Jay and Susie Walker, the entire Carolina cartel, Aaron, Ken, Scott, Todd Hensley's back, Dale Metz, who they make fun of him. He's an honorary Virginian. Dale called, I talked to him yesterday. He's more excited about this trip than anything. You know, the Cherry Blossom, he actually found a partner for his bull, Jeremiah. He had a really good sale. So, and I know he's recruited a lot of the new guys to come in. But Mark Flincham, Nancy Dunn, the Tallies, they're always the first to step up and bring really strong cattle, as I think it shows in the catalog. You know, new guys coming in, Melissa Burst, all the way from Nevada. She just did the Reno sale. I think she did a great job with that, but she's bringing 2 awesome Grulia silver-colored cattle. Mark Hubble and Dave Hoving from Michigan. Dave put in a knockout. Mark put in a really nice catch-it daughter as well and a good Rio daughter. Mike Casey, he's got ranches in California and Texas. He's sending some up along with Dave Pace, Kurt Twining, Chris Clark, Scott and Danielle Mershon, Bill Smith, Fred and Cheryl Bryant. Those are all of our first-time consigners who, you know, we knew they had a lot of choices to go with consigning to a fall sale. And, you know, talking to all of them, they feel that this is the place to put them. So just an amazing lineup of cattle. You know, new consigners, old consigners. We're going to have a really good sale.
Do you want to talk briefly about some of the animals that those consigners are bringing to the sale?
That me?
Go ahead, Chase.
Oh, yeah. This year we got 48 head, and they are, I mean, just knockouts. I think there's a little bit for everybody. If you like color, we've got it. Genetics, we've got an 80-inch or 85-inch 4-year-old in the sale, which, she could be 90 before she's 5, which is big time. The cool part about it is it's younger cattle. And that's part of this sales design is we probably turn down, 50 head of people wanting to consign, and it was either, a little bit older, or we knew they had something better. They dug back in. I don't know which one my favorite one is, but.
Well, I mean, and like a hat tip to the consigners too, because the way we pitch the sale is that, we want you to showcase what you're doing right now. And to Chase's point about turning consigners down, or consignments down, we've had some older cows come in that were great producers, but they just didn't fit the mold of what we're trying to do. And, we just didn't need like those great producers. We wanted their production to come in. And, we're in year 3 and we're still working towards that. I know when we first started talking about being so selective with it, and we try to keep consignments down, so somebody's not bringing 5 in or anything like that. 1, 2, this is the first year that we allowed 3. We try to keep the sale small. We typically try to do a heifer sale on Friday night, but we've had so many good heifers in that it was going to be hard to do, a 35 lot heifer sale Friday night, and then a 15 lot or 13 lot cow sale on Saturday. So we just paired them all together, and that way we can have a little bit more downtime between the futurity and then have the party at Ann's house versus the sale barn. So, because with the heifer sale starting so quick, we always had to do the party at the sale barn. But talking about like Melissa Burris, about, when we asked her, we're like, we want something that represents you right now as best as possible. And I mean, she picked her 2 best cows, and as sale hosts, like that's all we can ask for. Because of that, it's easier to sell, right? It's easier to sell good cows than it is to sell cows that people don't want. And, these are cows that people, I shouldn't say hesitant on selling, but really didn't have any plans on selling. Danielle Mershon, I mean, we talked to her for a couple of days. She's never, this is I guess her biggest sale. She's never had a heifer this good go in a sale. Gary Hirschberger, I started talking to like mid-April, and it took like 5 weeks to get his heifer in, and I think she's at like 7,000 on Hired Hand Live right now. Dave Hoving, a lot of people recognize the SDR name. Dave sold a $25,000 cow at the Cherry Blossom sale. Reached out to him a little bit, and his program's kind of on a different path. And he said, but he's got a good one, and he'd like to put her in. So, and he's sponsored. I think, I can't off the top of my head, Chase might have it. It looks like he has information in front of him. How many sponsors we have this year? There's like 27 ads in the catalog, or 25 ads in the catalog. So, we just get a lot of response from the people that buy into it. And, we're so fortunate to have that type of consigner, that want to be a part of this.
So everyone tries to get out of my next question, but who do you think is going to be the top seller? Any guesses?
We're like immigrants at the DMV. We don't speak English. Go ahead, Chase.
I don't know.
Remember that pie.
It's oh yeah. But there's some truly exceptional cattle in this sale. I think when you talk about a cow who's 85 inches on her 4th birthday, that turns a lot of heads. There's some insane genetics in here. One of them will be the top seller, and then the other one will be the second top seller. So it's tough to see. I think every cow in their own right here could hit that mark. We have some cattle that are in their prime coming into it, and some that you can see where they're headed. That lot 1 that Bear was talking about at Danielle, she was the second high sell, and she had a sister last year sell lot 1 as well. That Joseph
$500, yeah.
So I don't know. Everybody put in their best. So I think everyone in their own right has a chance to be top seller. So that's about as clear of an answer as you'll get from me.
Well, I mean, and there's obviously some cows that stand out, right? Like Dave's is a phenomenal cow. Again, she's at like 7,000 on Hired Hand Live. Gary Hirschberger's like, those two are probably the best ones, but or has the best chance at being a high seller. For me, you know, these are great cattle, and great cattle should require a premium price, right? It's not going to be a retail price that these cows are going to bring, but I'm excited to see some of these cows do better than what
I don't think there's an animal in the entire sale that I'd say every animal in this sale, which is very unique to sale, I think everyone can improve your herd, you know, the second you buy them.
Well, we have that.
It's really cool to see. Again,
we have that BC ranch rule, which is an idea that we came up with, Bo Carpenter, but essentially it's a guessing game for the consigners on guessing what they think their cows are going to bring. And as far as I'm aware, it's the first time any sale does this. And the whole concept behind it is to get the consigners to think about the value of their cow. And, you know, a lot of people are hesitant to say what they think they're going to bring. You know, they might be nervous and say, well, you know, I'd like 5,000, but I hope she brings 25. And if she brings 65, they're tickled to death. So that, like, I'm excited to see that. I want to see people who are just proud of what their cows do.
All right, so my last few questions are easier than Jamie's last one. So go ahead and tell us, if folks haven't made their arrangements yet for attending, who are the host hotels?
Well, we have, I mean, there's the Holiday Inn and Culpeper. Everyone seems to like to go to because there's Peppers across the street or right next door. One of Chase's stomping grounds. Everything's kind of packed right together. There's Peppers, there's, I think it's a Best Western, a Microtel. Down the road, there's a Hampton. They need to get on it, though, because there's so many weddings and so many horse shows in this country that just get booked up like crazy. So it's a little slow right now from wedding season because of the whole COVID deal. But and I think for the Cherry Blossom, like, it was really easy to get a hotel room. But normally, like, we're booked 3 or 4 months out in advance. It's crazy. I got to call up in a panic and try to block rooms. But get on it because those rooms fill up quick. There's bed and breakfasts everywhere. Airbnb is now a big deal. John Nancy Colcom there in Rixieville, I know they have an Airbnb. They're Longhorn breeders. So if anybody has any issues with hotel rooms, certainly please give me a call and we'll do everything we can to track down something for you.
That main hub of hotels that Barrett mentioned it's only about 3 miles from the barn. So you hop on the highway and you're right there. So
yeah, it's one exit down from the sale barn.
All right, anything else that you want our listeners to know about your event?
More sponsor based, but you know, pick Chase. Chase is the winner.
I just, you know, there's, yeah, well, Sean, yeah, he's got a face that you just want to hit. But I mean, with all the craziness that's gone on this year, I mean, the fact that, you know, especially on the East Coast, speaking of the Cherry Blossom and this East Coast sale, it's just amazing to still see the enthusiasm that everybody has. So if you've registered to bid on Hired Hand, we'll have at the sale. If you consigned a cow, if you're coming, if you're doing phone bids, we just want to thank you because, like I said, we'll do this as long as y'all want us to. And each year it gets better and better. And that's not because we're getting smarter. It's because we have more support. So I'd like to thank everybody. I know, like I said, 2020, it is what it is, but we got a great lineup of cows and it's going to be one heck of a time. So just from the bottom of my heart, I'm speaking for Ann and Bear, just thank you for the support to allow us to sell your cows and do what we love to do.
Yeah, this wouldn't happen without all you guys. I mean, it's September. We'd go dove hunt or elk hunt or something like that if we didn't have cow sales. But it's funny. I was talking to Blake Fanning about that, and Blake's like, "Well, come elk hunting." I'm like, "Don't you don't need to give me a reason." Yeah, we do this because everybody supports it. And you know, somebody asked me how long we were going to do it, and I said until they stop. It's for them.
Well, perfect. We can't wait to attend. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.